You're tuned in to Fantha Tracks Radio.
This is the Fantha From Down Under.
G'day, mate. How you going?
Star Wars news in a single file.
Coming to you live from Quinlan's Cantina in the Gold Coast of Australia. This is your slice of Australian Star Wars news.
Hosted by the Malt himself, Adam O'Brien.
Alrighty, mate. Let's get into it. G'day folks and welcome back to the Fantha From Down Under, brought to you by Fantha Tracks Radio. Come to you live from Quinlan's Cantina in the Gold Coast of Australia. I'm your host Adam O'Brien, the man with the mullet. And of course, today is episode number 41 of the show. We're going to be chatting to a dear friend of the show, dear friend of Fantha Tracks, and one of the most positive Star Wars fans out there. That is of course Callisto, who is an absolute genius when it comes to cosplay. Loves all eras of Star Wars, and is going to tell us her lowdown on what is the greatest parts of Star Wars, what she's been looking forward to with the upcoming films, and of course Mandalorian, the TV show. All here on the Fantha From Down Under. Alright folks, you can catch this show on fanthatracks.com and catch me, the Lethal Mullet, at the Lethal Mullet on both Twitter, Instagram, and now on Facebook. And welcome to the Fantha From Down Under, brought to you by Fantha Tracks Radio here from Australia. I'm Adam O'Brien, the one with a mullet usually. And chatting to me all the way from the other side of the globe is the one, the only, the fantastic, and one of the most positive Star Wars fans you're going to find out there, Callisto. Mate, how are you? Mate, tell you what, how good is it to be a Star Wars fan with November and December giving us double Christmases with Mandalorian and Rise of Skywalker?
Yes, I can't wait. Christmas before Christmas, that's the best.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it? And the fact that, there's so much happening, even just outside of that, we've got the books, got the comics, a brand new game come out, and we've even got Vader Immortal, which keeps coming out with different things too.
Yes, it's crazy. For a Star Wars fan, no matter what you would say, like or dislike, it's definitely a huge year coming on.
It's massive.
It's really cool.
And the fact that, we maybe say 10 years ago, we'd have maybe a comic out or maybe a movie, it'd be one thing. We are so spoiled with so much stuff coming out.
Yeah, we are, and I can't believe, all those guys who's working on the series, on the movies, must be so exhausted. Poor thing.
Well, they're putting out a lot more out there than maybe George did, because he did it every 3 years. These guys are doing it in a much more shorter time.
Yeah, I think Star Wars now is a war machine.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
But it's a good war.
Yeah.
It is. So, obviously, streaming coming out very, very soon on the 12th, I think, in the States. We get it about a week later here in the 19th. Mandalorian.
Yeah. I got Disney Plus for 3 years, and it's going to start tomorrow. I already planned my day. I definitely know what I'm going to do tomorrow.
But it's so good because I was looking at some of the stuff that they've got on offer. Obviously, it's the whole back catalogue of stuff. So you could literally have Disney Plus working in any room in the house, or you could have it in your tablet, and you could watch the movies, TV shows, Rebels, Clone Wars.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm a huge Disney fan. I grew up with all the Disney movies. When Lucasfilm got bought by Disney, I was like, what? But has a growing company and of course moneymaker, Star Wars, he's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be way worse? So we'll see. I'm not disappointed so far. No matter what you can think about, like those, like the new movies, I'm literally thinking more positively of the movies than badly. Of course, there's like stuff I don't like, but it's so minimal compared to the stuff I like. It's still Star Wars for me. So we'll see. I mean, Rise of the Skywalker. I can't wait for that. It's thrilling, really. And Mandalorian, in Obi-Wan. Oh my God.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
for
yeah, I didn't even think
another.
about that.
It's for another probably podcast. But Obi-Wan. Oh my God. He lied to us for like 4
4
years.
years, yeah.
And I think it was like a good thing because like we got so hype on this, and we're like so happy when Caitlin Kennedy herself announced with Ewan McGregor they're gonna be like an Obi-Wan movie, TV show. I was like, okay, this is it. Like, it just like, yes. So you're gonna say like Disney's what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, like for now, it's gonna be like Mandalorian and like the Rise of Skywalker. So I can't wait for that.
It's so much fun. Like I'm just looking at some of like the stuff that they had planned, and even Ewan said, "Well, it was going to be a movie, but now you're getting 8 hours of Obi-Wan." Like
Yes,
yeah, it's so good.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, and when they announced like Mandalorian, uh, I'm not really a big fan. Like everybody loves Boba Fett, and it's not Mandalorian like what we talk about. Like, but anyway, when you see the Clone Wars and when you see the Mandalore episodes on Clone Wars, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is really crazy, and I have to admit, I didn't really read about the universe about that, like, but yeah, it's just like crazy. So when I saw the trailer of Mandalorian, I was mind blown, like for real. I don't want to know like anything because just like I want to be surprised, and I don't need to be spoiled or anything. Just like wow.
I think we're in for a real treat. I mean, the effects on this, just on the trailers, is amazing. That Razor Crest ship that they've got, everything, it's just glistening. The minute I saw that,
Yeah.
I was just, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like it's just perfect. You really,
Yeah.
and I think too, what's great about the Obi-Wan one was that, yeah, he's held onto this thing, and people have been asking, so you're doing Obi-Wan? He goes, oh, well, I'd like to. he's trying to hide
Oh,
it.
come on, Ewan. Yeah, we know you want to be like Obi-Wan again. Just like, we know that. He had like so much fun on the 3 episodes, so just like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah, I do hear the actor who played Owen Lars has rumoured to be in the production. Yeah. So I think we're going to have a little bit of the Lars Homestead again, I think. That much we know.
Yeah.
The old Tatooine. It feels like we're coming home with Star Wars, like when we have those sorts of things,
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
You're listening to Fantha Tracks Radio.
And everybody, like, when I heard about, like, the Obi-Wan series, like, they have to bring Darth Maul and Asajj Ventress in Obi-Wan's TV shows. Like, they're, like, both Obi-Wan nemesis, and they're in the Clone Wars. They had to bring it on, or talk about it if we don't see them.
Oh yeah, big time. I think you need that little touch, and I like the fact that with such a long running time, we're going to get a bit of the sense of where the Empire's at, and that, what's happened to poor old Obi-Wan's one of the last Jedi.
Yeah, and at the end of the Revenge of the Sith, just like Yoda tells Obi-Wan, like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna teach you how to reach out Qui-Gon. I'm like, wait a minute, what? No, you're gonna what? So yeah, and how like because he just like fled somehow and to take care of Luke on Tatooine. It's just like, but what did you do like for so many years? I mean, he's Obi-Wan. He can't just like retire to be like a Jedi. He's born to be a Jedi, and he's born to have like so many adventures, have like new friends, and yeah, like I'm looking forward to see like what he has become after this.
Yeah, I think he's had a few adventures. There's definitely, like, he wouldn't just be chilling back in the homestead. Be sure to jump onto FanthaTracks.com for all your Star Wars news in a single file. There's some great articles and, of course, some great podcasts on there too on FanthaTracks.com. Go and check it out, and we'll catch you next time.
I don't think
Obi-Wan's just been sitting down, and chilling out in that little hut of his. I think he's been out and been in some adventures. Oh, yeah. Especially, we've seen it on Rebels. Obviously, he pops up to say hello to Mr. Ray Park. Hello, Mr. Maul, Which was a great scene. It was a fitting end for Maul, I think. I would have liked to have seen it in a movie, though, I think.
Me too. Would be great.
Yeah, but I still think it was a beautiful touch. Like, what they did was right. Like, is it Filoni? It's Filoni. He knows what he's doing with that sort of stuff, and gives it the right touch. But I think that's where it's great with these streaming things like Mandalorian and that, and the Cassian Andor show. What's going to be great about that is that we have longer stories like Clone Wars. It can be told over a number of episodes and stuff. And that's where we can delve into the bounty hunters and all that sort of stuff, all the fun stuff.
They're the best. I mean, I'm a bounty hunter. Like, I don't know where. Yep. Hey,
yep.
There it is.
Because bounty hunters are fun.
Yeah, I mean, they're for me, they're free people. They don't need to pick a side or be like good or bad. Just like it's for the interest and they're not greedy because like they do bounty for money. No, they do that for living, and I think some of them do that for sports. but because they chose to live like freely and don't pick a side. Not because they don't care, just because they want to be like neutral.
I think so too.
That's why,
but what's funny about them is that I think it's it's their bread and butter. It's what they do for a job, and you find it with I think Boba Fett especially, even in the old novels and stuff, he'll be very honourable outside of what he's doing, but. A job's a job to him.
Yeah. He's not like an assassin or no. He has a job to do. Like Django Unchained. Like it's funny because I'm bringing like Django and Boba, but Django Unchained, like he's doing the same for a bounty. Like of course, like at first he did that for revenge, but he turned out like. Before getting his revenge, he's doing his job as a bounty hunter, and that's why Boba and others are doing.
It really is, and what I loved about those episodes, even in Clone Wars, where you'd see the likes of Dengar rock up when I think Simon Pegg did his voice or whatever. But what's interesting is you see them; they'd be sitting down having a meal, but just as regular workers do. And then, all right, we're going to go and chase this bounty, go and do it. Then they get their money, and they can just get paid like other people. So it's kind of like It's almost like the Star Wars version of a regular worker.
Yeah, exactly. And one of my favorite in the Clone Wars is Cat Bane.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he couldn't be a Boba Fett. You know?
Yeah. He kind of reminds me of those old gunslinger guys like Lee Van Cleef,
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
He's really stylish. Like, I probably prefer Cat Bane than Boba Fett.
Yeah.
To be honest, people's gonna hate me if they hear that. But yeah, Cat Bane is like way more stylish than Boba Fett. I mean, Boba Fett has still like he has his skills. He's quiet, but Cat Bane is just like so stylish. Like visually, he's really stylish.
He's great, and I like too that he's wiser. So if he sees something that's bad, he's not going to do it. He'd be like, because he's got to put himself first. He's like, "Hey, that could hurt me. I'm not going to do that." You know. Whereas Bobber and Bosk and Dengar will probably go and do it, or a Singh, you know, where they'll go and do it. You know. And that's what I loved about those episodes and those, because you get to see like the young Boba kind of learning from all these pros, you know, and they'd be like, "No, we're not going to do that, buddy. We're going to do this."
Yeah. He's like kind of like arrogant and angry, and no, you have to be like calm. You know, you have to know like what you're doing. You have to be strategic, and you have to be calm. Like definitely. Yeah.
That's great. And I think that Mandalorian's got a great cast. Obviously, Pedro Pascal, who I love that actor. He's great. I've been watching him since Game of Thrones, and he's just very good.
I saw him in Chicago, and damn, like this guy. Like I saw the cast, and I just like saw them like because I was like working backstage, from the Star Wars show, and we saw like people like go in, and when they were like taking photos and talking to the other crew members, they were like so cool, and they're like super passionate about their characters and bring their touch to the Star Wars industry, like, and yeah, see, it's not like Disney or cinema industry, it's just like the Star Wars industry. It's just like, actually, I think I would be like that, like, because they're fans, and they really believe, like, it's how cool is that to wear an armor or to be, like, part of the legacy of Star Wars. And, of course, like, you saw them, like, being, like, super smiley and super happy about them, about, like, what they did. But, I think we're expecting like big things, but I think we're gonna have like big things too.
Oh, I think so too. And when you got Gina Carano, Carl Weathers, Nick Nolte, I mean the list goes on. Some amazing talent behind the scenes, and then you've got Taika directing, along with obviously Favreau and all these other great talents. You know, I think even Ron Howard's daughter as well. I think she did an episode.
Yeah, Bryce Dallas Award, and but like, she's a really good actress to me. Like, I love her, and I'm picky about actresses. But yeah, I mean, Filoni, don't get me wrong, but everything is going to be a blast.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Filoni. And with John Favreau.
He just makes it fun. I mean, I remember when they were doing some of the Rebels episodes in season 3 and 4, and they're starting to bring in more of the Force elements. He said, we've had these characters. Let's get the Doctor from Doctor Who in to do the Force talk.
Yes!
Yeah, Tom Baker.
Yes! It was crazy. And I was like, wait a minute. This is like David Tennant over there? Just like, what? And it's getting more serious and darker and more like adulty than more like for children. And I think the Mandalorian's like it's gonna be like that balance.
I think so
it's
too.
It's not gonna be I think it's gonna be like for kids, but also for adults. They're gonna be like different lecture. I think because like, you know, like kids won't get some part of probably of the story, or maybe like, you know, double lecture like Miyazaki does, and I know Filoni is a huge fan of Miyazaki, so maybe they can bring that on because they have like the experience and everything. So I'm sure this is gonna be great. Even like the first picture we saw like from the trailer, like all the stormtroopers helmet like on spikes. You said like you just like realize like, oh, what way, like the Empire, what's going on? Okay, you're in trouble, but you know they have like no sides because they're bounty hunter. You know, it's gonna be like amazing, and definitely I will message tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the first.
You know, and what's really rough is our friends in the UK. So, you know, Matt Booker, Mark Newbold.
Me too.
These guys, these poor guys, have to wait till March to see the show.
Yeah, and I don't know about Friends because, like, obviously I'm not living in Paris anymore. I'm just, like, really settled down in US. But I don't know about Friends. Probably it's going to be the same, but it's going to be rough. Like,
yeah.
Like, my best friend James is there, and me, and like I hope, like I know it's bad, but I hope like there are gonna be like leech and glitch and breaks over the internet, and people's gonna see the first episode like as we do, and we paid for that. I know it's not fair like to say that because we paid, but I really want to talk about this with my friends, and it's gonna be like hard, but I'm gonna respect like everybody who doesn't have Disney Plus, and I'm gonna say, hey, if you want to talk to me about it, like DM me, and yeah, same for like for the Rise of the Skywalker when it's gonna be out. I don't know if I'm gonna see it right away.
Yeah,
because so many, you know, life happens, but yeah, like I said to everyone, like no spoilers. If you want to talk about it, like stay in private. That's what I did. I didn't want to react on the trailer because they were like so negative stuff.
You're listening to Fantha Tracks.
Talk about like badly about something, and especially like now in Star Wars community, it's so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. So I was like, I'm gonna keep the opinion for myself, and if you want to talk about it, like obviously you're gonna hear it on this podcast, but like on Facebook, like like when it went out, I was like, DM me, and if you want to hear my point of view, go for it. But I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah, I don't get the negativity in any fandom. At the end of the day, if somebody's not enjoying something, probably best to not follow it anymore if they're not liking it.
Yes, and especially in the Star Wars community, just like they're like spitting their anger, but they're gonna see the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, what? You're not like, there's no like, what? Like, respect yourself. You say like you don't like it, this is shit, this is like nonsense, or this is not Star Wars anymore for me. It's just like, okay, fine, like you don't like what they did to your point of view of Star Wars, but don't go to see the movie. Don't go see the movie.
100%. Well, if they're not enjoying it, you know, maybe go and read the books instead or something like that, you know. There's thousands of books even in the Legends line. Yeah. And it's still great, you know. And I think that's the thing is they need to do that. Because at the end of the day, what's being made is made by fans. And they, you know, the people at Lucasfilm really love the material like we do.
Yeah, definitely.
Big time.
Definitely.
So, Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, jeez. I saw like everybody else. Like I was backstage, like I was like from stage, and I saw like the first trailer. Of course, I cried, everybody else, because like seeing Carrie Fisher again was really like overwhelming.
Yeah.
Seeing like I'm totally like BB-8 was super cute.
After this chat with Callisto, folks, as we go and talk about what's on the actual page on Fantha Tracks.
This is the Fantha from Down Under, live from Australia.
You're right.
It keeps like breaking, but Dio is so cute, and it was completely different. Like the first trailer was so different from the other one. Like the last one, it's a complete opposite movie.
Yeah.
You don't know what to expect.
All right, folks, we're going to get into a little bit of a look at what's on the page of FanthaTracks.com, our domain where you can find all your Star Wars news in a single file. So first up, we have one of the great ones, of course, is in fact lots of conventions on. There's a Star Wars Fun Day on the 30th of November 2019, that's this year, at Simon Downs. So you can go and check that out if you're in that vicinity. Disney Plus has hit 10 million subscribers on the first day. You got to remember the UK still have not got that, as we mentioned earlier in the chat with Callisto. And it's interesting to see that parts of the world have got it now. We're getting it here in Australia, middle of next week as well. So it'll be coming up there. We got some customizing news up there too, with a tattoo trooper that you can check out. Rebecca Roanhorse, who wrote Resistance Reborn, discusses the journey to bring that novel forward. We've also got Daisy Ridley on The Rise of Skywalker. The third one, for me, was the best, she says, and there's a whole interview in that one as well too. MCM Birmingham Comic-Con on Star Wars coming to the NEC. So check that out too. Lots of great interviews and stuff in and around Mandalorian. Obviously, that's going to be the big thing that we've got there, sharing the news of, etc. So check that out too. Lots of interviews that the cast and crew are doing, of course. John Favs himself, John Favreau, and of course Dave Filoni. So definitely check that out too. You also got Los Angeles Empire Con, which has got James Arnold Taylor, Obi-Wan Kenobi himself there. And there's a number of other people still coming in to head up that great convention coming up too. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. There's lots of news on. Obviously, it's just about to launch. And, you got to think about it. It's the first real game of this style in a long while. So it's going to be a lot of fun for Star Wars fans to really wrap their head around too. There's also some really interesting stuff with Vader Immortal as well. Of course, this is the VR experience of Star Wars like none other. Even with previous technologies and stuff like that, we've never quite got this fantastic style too. Taika Waititi as well on there. We've got a great little segment there talking about how he compares IG-11 to the Terminator. You can find also Alan Tudyk news on there, Werner Herzog, and of course some information about Emily Swallow's character in The Mandalorian. And it's also Emily Swallow talks about the audition for that as well too. There's a guide we have on there for The Mandalorian Chapter 1. And of course, Star Wars has put out an exclusive clip of the first one as well. So you got to go and check that out. The other one that's joined Los Angeles Empire Con is, of course, Vanessa Marshall. Of course, one of the greats when it comes to voice acting. The amount of projects she's done. Of course, she, in Dune circles, did the big Dune games back in 2000, etc. like that too. So 2000 and Dune, obviously, Emperor, Battle for Dune, etc. too as well. So go and check that out. All right, folks, that's all we have for you today here on the Fantha From Down Under. Catch us next week on episode number 42 as we have Callisto return for part 2 of a conversation. We have some latest news from Australia and much, much more, all here on the Fantha From Down Under. I'm Adam O'Brien. May the Force be with you.
Subscribe to Fantha Tracks Radio and the Fantha From Down Under on Apple Podcasts, on iTunes, on Stitcher Radio, on Spotify, or anywhere we can find good podcasts.